Welcome back, sweet friends. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tawanda and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life, and today I have two outdoor Christmas DIYs for you all. Today I will be creating these DIYs for a family friend. We're going to go ahead and jump into today's video. I hope you all enjoy. For this DIY, I have one of those 12-inch, I believe it might be 18-inch wreath rings, and I'm showing you all these items that I intended to use but I actually did not use. So I have this mesh that came from, I want to say this came from Kirkland's maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, when they used to have 90% off for their sales. I had that Santa Claus ornaments from from Dollar Tree. The Merry Christmas wooden sign came from Hobby Lobby. That was a DIY I did a couple of years ago. And then I also have this gingham, the black and red ribbon. I want to say that may have come from Hobby Lobby or Joann's. More than likely came from Joann's. And then I have that snowman plaque that came from Dollar General. And I used a little bit of red fabric. I think that came from me. That was a thrift find some years ago. But I'm going to go ahead and start off by adding the mesh. I'm going to do 2 runs on it, and then I'm going to do a run of the ribbon. So the ribbon is not wrapped around the spool because this is actually my second attempt to create a wreath. The first wreath I started and I absolutely loved it. The only problem was I didn't have enough ribbon and I ran out, and so I had to go look through my stuff, to look through my stash to see what exactly I had to be able to create another wreath. So that's why the red and black ribbon is not on a spool and it's just kind of just laying there all over the place. So here is what it is currently looking like. And this is like the last 2 areas that this actually is the last section. So the first wreath that I created, I ran out of one ribbon before the last 2 sections were complete, and then I ran out of another roll of ribbon before the last section was complete. So I did have 2 rolls of the mesh ribbon, so that actually kind of worked out just fine. And here I was just showing my husband the Merry Christmas on top of it to kind of get his opinion on what he thought, because I wasn't sure what I was actually going to use to create this wreath, because I had to redo everything and come up with something really quick to get this done. So this is what it is currently looking like. I think it actually looks pretty good. And then there's my little snowman that came from Dollar General. And then here I put the Merry Christmas sign with the Santa there to kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And then I put the ribbon. And so I was just trying to decide what I was going to end up doing. I decided to go with the snowman. And so I have that red fabric that came from the thrift store. I'm going to also use some of that ribbon. And I am going to just embellish the snowman a little bit because I really did not like all of the glitter and I wanted him to match the wreath some. So I'm going to go ahead and just start to create his scarf with the ribbon. And then after I do that, I'm going to take that white piece of fabric there is actually from one of those Dollar Tree mop things. I just cut a piece of it off. And then I'm going to use that to create his hat. And so here I'm just adding my ribbon. I'm going to take 2 pieces of the ribbon and I'm going to hot glue them together because the ribbon that I'm using was not wide enough. And I needed it to be a little bit wider than what it was. And then that piece that I already hot glued down, I'm going to go ahead and actually remove that piece. And I'm going to start all over with creating his little scarf. And so I am actually going to I'm going to fold the scarf a little bit over, like each section a little bit over each section. I don't know how to explain it, but you'll see me here doing that here shortly. Just so that it looks right and that it, everything is completely covered. And so here I am doing that. And then once I have that complete, I'm going to go ahead and start to work on his hat. So I went ahead and just cut a piece of that fabric out. That fabric was thrifted. And then I went ahead and cut out the section to place over the hat that he currently has on. And then I added a little bit of pillow fluff from an old pillow. And then I added that white piece of the mop head from Dollar Tree. And then I added 2 zip ties on the back. I used some hot glue, some tape, and some liquid nail, and zip tied the snowman to the wreath. And that is going to be it for this DIY. I hope you all enjoy it and like it as much as I do. I love the way it turned out. The snowman is so cute. I think I might have to go and see if I can find another one of these snowmen to add to my stash for next year to create some snowman DIYs. So yeah, this is what it's currently looking like. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If you're already subscribed, thank you for continuing to support my channel. I really do appreciate it. Again, my name is Tawanda, and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life. And on my channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. I also do sister lock updates and lifestyle updates. So if that is something that you are interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to join my YouTube family. I would greatly appreciate it. And then once I had my hat attached to my snowman, I took another piece of that ribbon, and then I made a little bow, and that is going to be it for this DIY. It is so cute. You'll have to let me know what you think. For this DIY, I'll be using one of those boards that came from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago that was on clearance. I'm also going to be using this Magnolia Homes paint. I want to say it's called Create, but I could be wrong. I did buy that on clearance at Ollie's. And then I'm going to be using my welcome sign, and then also some snowflakes. So I'm going to start off by giving my board 2 coats of the spray paint. And then once it's completely dry, I'm going to go ahead and start to add my letters to spell out the word welcome. So like I was saying, once it was completely dry, I went ahead and brought it inside, and then I taped my letters to the sign, and then I used some of the white paint to go ahead and stencil on the word welcome. And then once it was completely dry, originally I was going to do a Santa Claus theme, but then I had to change it up because my wreath and my welcome sign were not going to match because I ran out of ribbon doing the wreath. And so I did have to switch it up. So I switched it up to a snowman welcome sign to go with the wreath to go on the front door. So here I'm just adding the white paint to spell out the word welcome. Like I said, once it was completely dry, I went ahead and I took some of those snowflakes from Dollar Tree that I already had. So everything I'm using for these DIYs are things that I already have. And so, and originally I was going to use white vinyl to spell out the word welcome, but I actually did not have enough to create the sign. So that's why I'm using my stencil instead. I did have a couple of areas that I did have to go back and fix because the paint did kind of bleed up a little up under the letters, but that was a quick fix. And then once everything was dry, I went ahead and started to add my snowflakes. The larger snowflakes, I did cut those in half, and I painted them all white. So you'll see me here shortly going back and adding hot glue on my snowflakes. I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue and a little bit of the liquid nail to attach the snowflakes to the sign because we do live in Florida, and even though it does get quite cold here in the mornings, it usually goes from like 20 or 30 degrees to 80 by noon. So I just wanted to make sure that the snowflakes were going to stay on, and also the hat once I apply it to my welcome sign. So here I'm just waiting on it to dry. And then this is a couple days later. So I'm going to go ahead and start to add my snowflakes. I'm going to place them where I want them. And then once I have those glued on, then I'm going to go back and start, and I'm going to add my Santa hat. And that is going to be it for this DIY. I really love the way that it turned out. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye.